Hi, welcome back from Trash to Treasure How-To. This video is a homemade jewelry cleaner recipe, and I'm going to show you not only how to make the recipe, but we're going to go ahead and clean a couple pieces of jewelry. It's a cheap, effective way to clean all of your jewelry. The only thing I have not found that it works very well on is silver. It will take off light tarnish, but not heavy tarnish. So here we go. So there's the recipe. It is 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of antibacterial dish soap, a 6 by 6 inch square of aluminum foil, and 1 cup of warm water. Now I have a large amount of jewelry to do, and so there is my ingredients, and I have quadrupled the recipe for 4 cups of water. And you can make as large a batch, small a batch as you like. But if it's just normal, for most people, the 1 cup of water recipe works just fine. So I have glass bowls. You want to use glass because you're going to be using aluminum foil, and there's going to be a chemical reaction between the aluminum foil and the salt and soda. Okay, so you just put your aluminum foil in as such. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm using this as about a 8 by 6 tray, and over here I have one that I've been using. You can see the water's a little dirty and funky. Did probably 3 pounds of jewelry yesterday in this, and we're not going to use this again. I just wanted to show that to you, that so you can see that it does get the dirt off. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add 4 cups of water. This is 2. And 2 more. I'm actually making 4 batches in one. This is the dish soap. I use Palmolive. I like to use the antibacterial, but I'm just using the clear for better purposes of demonstrating, so it doesn't, the yellow kind of clouds the water a little bit. But you can use whatever kind you like. I just like the Palmolive because I feel like it's probably a little gentler than some of the other soaps and does just as good a job. And so here we have 4 tablespoons of salt. I'm just going to sprinkle that over the aluminum foil. And then we have 4 tablespoons of baking soda. Do the same, sprinkle it over. And you don't have to stir this. It kind of just does its thing. It'll start bubbling up a little bit. And normally I wait about 5 minutes before, just kind of let the chemical reaction start. But for purposes here of expediency, I'm going to go ahead and put in a few pieces of jewelry. So here you can see I have some brass. This is a brass bangle from India, and it looks clean enough, right? But it needs to brighten up just a little bit. So and I don't have quite enough to cover it in there. But I think we can coat it enough. Okay, I'm going to let that sit a little bit. And then this, like I said, this is safe for all kinds of jewelry. I don't do it on wood beads, but I will do it on gemstones, fine jewelry, brass, like I said, light tarnished silver. And that's, I have a little bit of everything here. So these are some vintage plastic beads. They just need a good cleaning. I do a lot of jewelry art, and I'll be having some how-to videos on that as well. Now you can already see how much shinier that is. And it just takes off that little bit of tarnish, and it's just like new. Okay, and there we have it's a pretty pin. I'm hoping that the video is actually clearer than what I'm seeing on my screen. But that is going to go in there, and that's just a wire gold tone vintage costume jewelry piece. And then this one actually is stone, and then it has an acrylic pendant, and I'm unsure of the type of metal that is. It's just a costume jewelry type metal. Now sometimes these cabocans or cabochons, however you say that word, that will, if you leave them in a long time, they can come unglued, which is not a big deal because you just get some, it's called 66. It's a type of craft glue, and just glue it right back on. So I'm unsure what the metal will do here, but we'll see. It's a little, I'm not sure if that's wear to the actual metal or if it's tarnished, so we'll just leave that in there and see. But I think already, since it's been near the time, okay, so here we go. You can see there's a little bit of heavy tarnish there that's not off yet, but look how pretty, look how that's cleaned up already. I'm going to let that heavily tarnished area, it may be a little bit of a wear area. We're going to leave that sit in there a little bit longer. And then let's see what else we have over here. Okay, so this is a nice piece of vintage Napier jewelry, if you're familiar with any of the quality vintage pieces. And I don't know what kind of metal they used, but it stayed shiny, but you'll be at your skill again, you'll see how much of a difference, even when you think the jewelry's not dirty. Then this is not silver. This is some type of an alloy, but it's a really nice quality custom vintage chain. And we're going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm trying to give you a little sample of everything. And I've got this large piece here. This is a vintage piece, but it's a cheaper piece of vintage jewelry. It's not terribly heavy, fairly well made, but it's not branded. It doesn't have any kind of a tag or a marking on it. So we'll put that piece in there. So those are plastic and the cheap costume metal, but again, these are all vintage. So it's looking like this is probably this spot here is actually some deterioration. This may be brass coated copper, but I think that piece looks like it's pretty well done. So I'll just show you what we do here. So you just take it out. You can see it's kind of soapy, and I wear gloves because the chemical reaction between the soda and the salt and the aluminum foil and the dish detergent is a little harsh on your skin if you're in it for a long period of time. So I wear these rubber gloves. I learned the hard way. Did a whole lot of cleaning the other day, several hours worth, and then basically peeled. My skin peeled, so we're not going to do that again. And so here we go. I'm just going to rinse this off really well. You can even just look at that. Look how pretty. We're just going to let it dry. Now, on a piece like this, on a brooch that has a lot of, maybe it has stones, or this one has a lot of wiring, or if you have rhinestones, what I'd like to do with these, and that one could stay in there a little bit longer, but I'm going to go ahead and take it out. It's pretty shiny. Just rinse it off. And I like to place these face down so that the water drains out of all the little nooks and crannies pretty quickly. And like I said, I have had where a stone or something will come unglued, but it's the rarity, not the norm, and it was probably already loose. The glue was probably deteriorating because it's old. And then I just take my little jewelry needle nose pliers and put it back in place with a little bit of the 66 glue. Okay, so these beads, they're doing pretty well. And again, most of this jewelry wasn't terribly dirty. You can always leave things in longer. It's not going to hurt it. I try not to leave anything in over 20 to 30 minutes. I've never had a piece that was damaged, though, so I'm leaving it in. Or if I get it out and dries and it's not as clean as I want, then I just stick it back in. Okay. And I also do have an Etsy store, a couple of Etsy stores, and I'm on Poshmark and I'm on eBay, and so a lot of this jewelry, if I don't use it in my jewelry art, if I deem it too nice to tear up to put on my artwork, I'll list it for sale. Okay. What else have we got in here yet? Okay, so here we go. Oh, that's shining up quite nicely. I thought that was tarnish on the edge. I thought that the plating was actually eaten away, but it appears that it's not the case. So the stone beads have come through. The acrylic has come through just fine. I'm going to probably leave that in there just a little bit longer. And let's check on. This is cleaned up real nice. See how much shinier that chain is now? But this beats the heavy chemical cleaners. It's, like I said, when you can use household ingredients and achieve the same effect and not have to use dangerous chemicals. And I clean so much jewelry that it's also a very inexpensive way for me to get things where I need them to be. Look how that water's getting. See how murky that's getting? That's just the dirt coming off the jewelry, nothing more. Just the dirt. A lot of times we don't realize just wearing jewelry, our body fluids, sweat and salt and all that comes with it. And they'll leave a layer of film, and then that little film gets a little sticky and picks up a little more dirt or makeup, and over time it just needs a little refreshment, and it's very simple to do. Clean your own jewelry. So if you have some pieces that you don't wear anymore because they don't look so bright and pretty as they did, give this a try, and I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised at how nice your old jewelry will look. It'll look just like new. Thanks for watching.